Hello there, and a very warm welcome to Silent Power. This is a free course, a complete training to help you uncover this key, this inner key within you that I call your silent power. If there's something that you have been wanting to achieve in your life or you want to create for yourself, and along the way you either lost a certain part of yourself, or you got too tired or fatigued or overwhelmed or frustrated or stuck or lost, and you're like, if it's not external, what is my true power? If I have this so-called power in me to choose my life, to choose my path, to choose my thoughts, to choose my paradigm, I feel like I have this key in me. I sense it. I've heard about it. Sometimes I may have even felt it, but how do I access this power? Then you are at the right place. This training is my gift to you. There is no order bump, no upsell, no one-time offer, no value ladder, no sales pitch, nothing like that. This was actually inspired by one of my students who gave a suggestion when I asked, hey, what do you guys want to learn for our next YouTube video? And Doreen left a comment saying, can you talk about stillness and how can I remain calm at all times? So you have to have a little bit of context of why Doreen made this comment. So basically, I come from the world of remote high ticket sales. So we are remote salespeople, and we book sales calls and we close offers over the phone, over Zoom, and then we get paid a commission. So if you do see the rest of my videos, you will see a lot of training and content and things like that on remote sales. So Doreen is one of my students in remote closing, and she is a stay-home mother of a few kids, and she has her own business as well. So basically, if you know how is it like, I believe most of you will, to run a business, to do remote sales, and then to take care of your family is a lot to juggle. So you can only imagine for someone like Doreen, there is a lot of balancing to do. There are a lot of challenges and problems that she faces and overcomes on a daily basis, and it hasn't been easy for her, but so far she's been doing really well, managing all three, her family, her business, and remote sales. And so this is the context behind why she made this comment. And so I thought I would do this training to explain what is my definition of stillness. How do I access this stillness, this silent power, to create harmony, balance, confidence, as well as the courage, the clarity to navigate through life, whether it's challenging, whether it's stressful, whether it's difficult. You can always access this inner key in yourself that I call your silent power. So to be more specific, the way that we're going to access this silent power is by achieving what I call stillness. In recent years, this word seems to have become more and more popular. A lot of people are using this, are learning this, are finding this. But exactly what is this word? What is the definition? What benefits can it bring you? And why does it create this silent power in you? To the point where no matter how stressful or chaotic or challenging your life or your business may be, you can always access this power to create the desired results and solutions, meaning you can always find your path. This is the stillness that we want, yes? And the way that we're going to access this stillness is through understanding what meditation is. So if you watch this video in its entirety and you stay till the end, I have a bonus gift for you, and I have to elaborate. Okay, this is not some webinar. It is not like, there's none of these things on this video. This is a real gift, and I don't even know what is the value of this gift. I don't know how to describe it, but this gift has the power to transform your life. If you and I are on the same frequency and you are able to absorb and receive and internalize this gift, it has the potential to completely change your life for the better, to completely transform you as a person, so that you get to the next level, you master yourself, and you achieve your goals. Okay, so my suggestion is to study this video, take notes, stay till the end and understand why I'm teaching this, where are we going with this, and how to access your free gift, so that even after this video, you didn't just watch some video on YouTube, but you actually internalized what I'm trying to give you today. Okay? First of all, let us specify what is my definition of meditation. Okay? Quite simply, it is a practice. It is not a theory, it is not a wish, it is a practice. Okay, like a sport, like a martial art, it is a discipline. It is a discipline, it is a practice where an individual, okay, we train our mind. We're training it. We're building a certain type of muscle, if you will, okay? And in building this muscle, in refining this practice, it brings to us a state of mind, a state of consciousness where we are able to achieve mental clarity, emotional calmness, and stability. And I'm going to explain and expand and provide documentation and the process of exactly what do these words mean and how can it impact our performance, our progress, our life as a person. Okay? For now, you just need to understand that it involves your attention. It is an invisible thing, it is a non-physical thing, but it's quite possibly the only thing that you have full control over that can directly impact your problems and influence your success right now. Okay, so there are techniques to do all these kind of things, but this is where we are going with this. Okay, and at the end of it, it's to enhance our spiritual growth, and quite simply, that means anything that's going to benefit, strengthen, and advance you as a human being. Okay? Quite simply put, meditation is a state of mind. Now, is the following relevant to you? Do you experience sometimes high levels of stress or anxiety at work? Or maybe you don't know that that feeling in your body is labeled as stress or anxiety, but you basically feel this tight feeling of congested pressure, okay, in your chest area. You're worried, you're panicking, and you don't talk about it because you don't know who can listen, you don't know who can understand, you don't know who can help you get out of it, and so you keep it to yourself. And the more you keep it inside, the more it grows, and then it's kind of impacting and affecting all other areas of your personal and professional life, to the point where sometimes you have difficulty sleeping. Or maybe you work in a high pressure or some kind of a demanding profession, and you are this close. You are this close to completely burning out, or maybe you've already gone past that point, and you might feel empty inside. Like, I'm working, I'm making money, I'm going towards the money, and I'm doing well in my career, but who am I? What am I fulfilled by? What am I satisfied by? What are my emotional needs? What am I really going for? Do I really understand what motivates me? What motivates me to get up and go to work and love and enjoy what I do, and love and enjoy my daily life, and love and enjoy my life itself? Do I understand myself? Okay, do I have a clear goal? But, so in this case, you know what you want, okay, but you feel stuck or lost and you don't know how to get there. And in trying to solve all these different kinds of internal problems, you have tried a lot of things over the years. Maybe you have even tried some other, I don't know, systems or styles of meditation, and it's not helping you. And so you either wait, hopefully you can forget. I don't know, some of you, maybe, what do you guys do? You drink, you hang out, you talk to people, or I know a lot of people, they just wait, they just sweep their problems under the rug and say, I'm fine because I'm doing well in my career, I have money, so what if I feel a little bit empty inside? So what if there are certain things, whether it is relationships, whether it's a personal goal, whether it's a personal mission, and because we are unable to fulfill our real mission and needs, we tell ourselves, well, I'm kind of doing well in my career, in my work, so you know what, let's either wait, try and use money to solve the problem, or just ignore, procrastinate, sweep it under the rug, and hopefully one day it's gonna sort itself out. And then when you wait and wait and wait, one day the wake-up call happens, and we either have a relationship crisis, a financial crisis, or a health crisis, and it's like, wow, I wished I faced these things. I don't know, it could be internal chaos, some limiting beliefs, some fears, some kind of self-sabotage paradigm. I wished I had gone inside and truly understood and mastered myself, because then I would not have to spend all these years and all this money paying or chasing after external methods, and then none of them work anymore. So is there a chance that despite all these things that you've tried, or you think you've tried, is there a chance that there is something inside that we are not facing? Is it because we consciously know and we choose to avoid, or is it a blind spot where we sometimes know, sometimes we don't know, and then there's just this sense of feeling like, is there something inside that I'm not getting? Is there something inside that I'm not facing? And especially if it has gotten to a point where if this continues, I don't know what's gonna happen. But once you experience what stillness is, everything is going to change. The silent power is able to bring us what I feel is the most important thing for us in our development, or just in general for our well-being as humans. I like to have a sense of inner peace, and I define it as when I wake up in the morning, I feel good because I know I'm on the right path. And yeah, throughout the day, throughout the weeks, there's gonna be chaos, right? There's gonna be pressure, there's gonna be challenges, there's gonna be the good and the bad. But I'm not really bothered by it. I know it's life, I expect it, I know I can deal with it. I trust myself, I trust that I'm on the right path, I know that I'm on the right path, so that even inside this kind of chaos, I still feel that whatever happens, my conscience is clear. I trust myself, I trust my ability, And so there's this feeling of inner peace inside, you know what I'm saying? And when you have that inner peace, even if there are ups and downs, predictable, unpredictable, good and bad, whatever happens, there's always this sense of joy, this sense of reward. Like I am on my mission. I am on the right path. I got this covered. I will be provided for. I'm doing what is the most meaningful for me. I am living life based on my definition of my internal values and my external goals. I'm not chasing. I am not reacting. I am not hiding. I am not in fear. So this is the power. When I say silent power, this is the power that I'm talking about. It is true power. It is true internal power. Because why? It's something that you are always able to feel yourself with it, and you don't have to chase, you don't have to react. Because why? You know yourself. So because of this, no matter what is the chaos outside, you always have the ability to so-called manifest. Because you know the path, logically you know the path, emotionally you know the path, physically you know the path. So whether it is a solution or a result that you're creating for yourself, you know how to get it. You know where to fish. You know how to fish. You know, even if you don't know how to fish, like actually going fishing, for example, you still know how to build the skill. If that is the skill you want, or whatever skill you want to build for yourself, you know how to access that. So what does this mean? First of all, it means that you are complete. Second of all, it means that the old you, when you weren't so complete, you no longer have to struggle with those things anymore, and you can leave that old way of life, that old paradigm behind. What is this? To me, this is finding yourself. This is truly understanding yourself. I don't know what's your definition of success. It could be money, it could be achievement, it could be whatever. But I personally think that someone who can completely and unconditionally understand and be himself, I think that's a complete and total success. Because you are living your life as you. You are not a reaction. You are not a try. You are not a chase. You know what I'm saying? So this silent power, so far, I hope that I've done a good job describing what it is. And for us to really understand where I'm going with this, we have to at least know, at least understand, how did I discover this silent power? What actually happened? So if you don't know, this is Andrea, okay? She's my wife, and when I first met her, when I first got to know her, this is how she looked, okay? And hopefully by sharing her story, you can understand where this silent power can take you. So let's look at her journey first. When I first met her, sometime in around 2018, this is how she looked like. And for a lot of us in this community that we were in, I think at least 60, if not 70% of us thought that this is a guy. At least I thought that this was a guy, like wearing a suit and a bit like a feminine face, but it is a guy. And then I realized that it's not, because after a while, when we got to know each other, we met each other on an online sales program. Basically, the both of us were in a phase of our life where we were learning how to do remote online sales. So we met each other in the same program. And because this is an online program, there were all kinds of people from every country in the world. So I was like, wow, there is a fellow Singaporean and it's a girl, you know. Let me make friends with her, right? Let me get to know her. And then so we would text each other, and then And then eventually we actually got on the same sales team, and then we worked together. So that's how I know, that's how I got to know Andrea. And you can see in these photos, right, that she has a very masculine vibe, masculine look, masculine energy, and there's a whole backstory to this. Okay, this was us going out. You can see, try to look at the energy. Okay, try, if you are someone who's sensitive to energy, try to look at the difference in energy as I show you more and more photos of her process. So she grew up in a family of a big family, and a bit of a middle child syndrome. So in terms of confidence, clarity, like all these things weren't really there, so most of her life she would struggle with understanding herself, having clarity on what to do, where to go. So a lot of times she would be very frustrated or very confused, and if you know what is it like to be in that position, it can be deeply frustrating. And so this explains why she looks like that. And a lot of times when she encountered problems, she don't know how to solve them, and it's not because she don't know how. In fact, she wanted to solve a lot of problems for herself, for the business she was in her relationships, and she was so driven to become better, to find solutions, and she don't know how. So what happened? She would invest in a lot of programs and coaching and solutions, and just try, just doing her best to get answers, to the point where she invested more than 50,000 US dollars into all this kind of thing, and she still could not make any of them work. So the frustration and the burnout got to a point where, okay, when I say don't look at energy, okay, look into this person's eyes. What do you see? Do you see a certain duck? Because the eyes are supposed to be white, right? Like the white region is supposed to be white, and the black region is supposed to be black. But if you look at the white region, you'll see there's actually a deeply dark energy there. It's like, how can someone be so I don't even know what's the word. Is it burnout? Is it yeah, so when I first met her, this was the energy that she had. And in terms of like what I was saying earlier, in her work, in her personal life, whether it's self-confidence, whether it's understanding why we do certain things, what are the steps to get there, how are we going to do it, in terms of clarity, it is very hard for her to navigate. Okay, and it's not because she don't know how. She did well in school, she went to a university, but then why, when she gets to work, when she tries to perform, the stability is not there, the result is not there. And because she was also in sales for most of her life, she was doing sales. Whenever she talked to her clients and her prospect, it got to a point where this energy, okay, when she met her clients, whether online or offline, they would be hit by this energy, this burnout. And I don't even know whether it's conscious or not conscious, so I'm just going to say semi-consciously, but they would react to this energy. Some of them would be angry, some of them would be frustrated, some of them would even be rude towards her, and it was quite clear to us by that point that this was her energy that was running around and hitting people, hitting her colleagues, hitting her family, hitting her partner, hitting everyone. So when we don't have clarity, when we don't have stillness, this kind of problems will affect all other areas in our lives. Until we met an energy coach, okay, and then because we didn't know like physically what to do, right? We already bought all the programs. We already bought all the coaching. We already bought everyone's stuff. And then it's like, it's quite clear to us that it's not a technique problem. It's not a program problem. Like, what is happening? So we were very fortunate when we attended this meditation event together. We bumped into this energy coach, and then we told her about this, and then she said, well, have you ever tried meditation? And these days, when I tell people the same thing, have you tried meditation? A lot of them will be like, what is that? And how do I do it? And I've tried telling this to some salespeople before, and they're like, how does meditation bring me sales? How does meditation bring me money? And so they're so lost in the physical world. They're so lost in the chase for external thing that they have never experienced what I'm about to share with you. So this energy coach, her name is Chris Matt. Okay, Chris Matt. She told Andrea, hey, have you ever tried meditation? And then same thing, right? We were like, what is that? And then she walked us through the process, okay, which I will share with you in a while. But basically, I remember the first time that we practiced this was what happened. This was actually what happened. I remember it was a Saturday and a Sunday, sometime in around early 2020. And this was about 1.5 months before the pandemic happened. Before COVID happened, before the lockdown happened, this happened first for us. So based on the energy coach's prescription, okay, she told Andrea to close her eyes, okay, and just meditate for 1 hour, and then practice a sales call, okay, because it got to a point where she was doing sales, but the sales were not happening because the clients were getting frustrated and affected by her energy. Okay, so the energy coach was like, hey, you meditate 1 hour, and then you practice a sales call. You prepare for the call. Then you meditate for another hour. Then you practice again. So I remember it was like midnight. So we meditate, and then 1 a.m. meditate, 2 a.m. practice, 3 a.m. meditate, 4 a.m. practice. And then the next day, she took the sales call. To our surprise, for the first time, she actually managed to close a remote sale on Zoom. So we thought, hey, maybe it's luck, maybe it's first time. So Sunday, we repeated the same process again. Meditate, go into stillness, role play, practice, meditate again, role play, practice, and get on the call, meet the client. And this time it was clear. She was super clear, super still. She knew what to say, how to say, why to say. The pace was good, the tonality was good, the connection was great, the prospect was at peace, because I could see the prospect mirroring this new energy. So then it happened 3 times, and it happened 4 times. Then we realized, wow, this thing actually works. And this energy coach doesn't know sales at all. So she did not teach us anything about sales. She did not talk about any sales technique. Nothing. She just taught us stillness. And I'm not saying that if you completely master stillness, you can manifest sales. But if you understand what I'm saying, the techniques, like Andrea already had the techniques, so she did not change anything external. It was her internal process of balancing and understanding herself within. So based on what happened, I was like, okay, something is working now, and we gotta continue, right? This process is working, and it has to continue. So the weeks continued to pass, and we continued this practice. But now if you look into her eyes again, now her hair is starting to grow a little bit longer, okay? But look into the eyes and tell me, what do you see, right? The pain body the pain body is still there. The burnout is still there. The self-sabotage is still there. The lack of clarity, the lack of self-understanding is still there. But what's happening now is you can see the root of this burnout, the root of this lack of clarity, the roots of this self-sabotage, the roots of this old paradigm of why she worked for so long. She cannot close, she don't understand herself, always burn out, always frustrated. All these things don't happen overnight, because for years and years and years, this problem, this frustration has been stacking and building up. So when you look at this energy now, you will see that the roots of all these things are starting to be unrooted. And when this kind of thing happens, it can be quite a violent process. So all the more, our stillness needed to be even stronger. Because when all these emotions and all these beliefs and all this internal stuff suddenly come pouring and rising up to the surface, it can be very overwhelming. So this was the ultimate training ground, for her. And we continued this for 7 intense days, and then after that we would repeat this cycle, and then we would repeat it again. And because it started working, people saw the change, people saw the transformation. So I took this process and I managed to create a system and a process, that I will give it to you at the end of this training. It is free. There's no surprise, no sales pitch. It is a complete free program and system. Whatever Andrea went through, if you want the same thing, you will get the exact same process. For now, continue to listen to the story. So this is Andrea in a daily practice. Alright, some people like to ask me, why meditate? How to meditate? I don't have time. Look at this. What do you see? In terms of the energy, do you see the inner peace starting to flow in? Do you see some kind of internal change starting to happen? Do you recognize that we can actually do this? We can start this process, and there's no money involved. There's no tool involved. There's no magic script. There is none of those things involved. You can already access this power right now. Just by closing your eyes, going into the silence, and being with yourself, being with your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? So now you can see she's able to smile a little bit, right? And what do you see in the eyes now? So now she can smile a little bit wider, bigger, brighter. Yes? And this is a full smile. And look at the eyes again. Look at the sides of the eyes. And remember all the previous photos that you have seen. And do you see a certain glow? And it's not the hair, it's not the lighting, it's not those things. If you can just use that energetic center in your mind's eye to see what is the aura that's coming out right now, I'm sure most of you will be able to see. So she then took this stillness, because we don't just sit down and close our eyes and meditate, and then once we leave the session all these things go away. No. We have to carry the stillness and the calmness and the clarity that we build in these daily meditation practice sessions. And you don't have to ask me how long. If you have the time, 1 hour. Andrea did 3 hours a day because it was quite intense. If you don't have 1 hour, 30 minutes. If you don't have 30 minutes, even like before you head out for work or before you start your day, even if it's just a moment, it's still significantly powerful. It's still a very potent point of entry for you into the silence. So she would take this state of mind into her routines, into her exercise, into her travel, into her work, into her sales call, and then everyone around her, family, friends, co-workers, they all started to see this incredible transformation, because this was no longer a person that was emotional for no reason, reactive for no reason, lashing out for no reason, lost, confused, not understanding herself. Now she would radiate this calm, vibrant, positive, beautiful, attractive energy. This is her after mastering the stillness. Now look into her eyes again and look into the energy again. This is her on the day we got married, and then everyone was like, "Oh, Sean, congratulations, your wife is so beautiful, you are such a lucky man. Sean, why do you go for such a beautiful girl? Where did you meet her? And are you someone who goes for looks?" So they all haven't seen, 2-3 years ago, the initial photos that I showed you. A lot of people today, they never got to see that earlier version of her. They never got to see even the old photos that I showed you. But this is what stillness can bring to you. And today, that silent power in her continues to grow, continues to provide her with clarity, courage, confidence, direction. And you got to understand, the chaos is still there. If anything, now she has next level challenges. If anything, now she has even more, because now she's leading a team, a sales team of 3 remote salespeople, and she's the leader of that team. So from being unable to handle herself, okay, now she has progressed so much. And this was us at the start of the new year, so now you can see a more updated energy and vibe from her. And do you remember who was this person? So now that I show you back to back, this person and this person, what do you see? So if you are at a phase right now where you feel like, on the outside, I look fine. On the outside, I seem okay. I can still function. I can still get through my day, and then that's it. If there is a problem that's bigger than my capacity, if there is chaos that is deeper than my capacity, I will lose it. I will lose myself. I will experience all these things that I can't control, and when I can't control, everything just spiral downwards. I want you to use today's story as your inspiration, as your path to believe that no matter how severe that burnout, or whatever you want to call it, may be, there is a path, there is a way out of the maze. Okay, but first, I need you to use the story to tell yourself that if Andrea can do it, I can do it too. Okay, so now let's go into the how. Okay, because if you're sold on this story, okay, then you will want to know exactly what did she do, how did she meditate, and why does it work. So the reason why we want to go into stillness, the reason why we want to go into meditation, the reason why we want to access that state of mind is a very simple reason. We want clarity. Clarity is defined as us being able to logically understand what is the issue at hand, or what is the intention we want to set, or what is the goal or the destination that we want to get to, or what is the process or thing that we want to master, achieve, or build. It can be anything, but we want to logically grasp. We want to understand what is happening. And just logically understanding is not enough. You can see the process was very emotional for Andrea, a lot of internal turmoil. Okay, that is the thing that holds most people back. It's seldom a how problem. It's seldom a what problem. It's usually the internal turmoil that causes us to lose the ability to navigate. So being emotionally grounded, or if you want to say emotionally stable, is the same thing. So that when someone is logically clear, they're emotionally stable, what's going to happen is we can always navigate. And when we can navigate effectively, we will always physically experience either the solution or the results. Okay, this is why we go into stillness. To enter the silence, okay, you can do it right now. In fact, I would like you to do this exercise, even if it's just for a few minutes. Okay, sit down in a quiet place where you will not be disturbed. Ideally, you want to choose a chair, okay, a designated chair for your daily meditation and stillness practice. Choose a chair with a proper support for your back, your neck, your head, so that, in case you doze off or fall asleep, you do not fall off the chair. Okay, but if you do doze off or fall asleep, it's okay. Don't use any force. Okay, don't try to push anything. Don't try to force anything. Just relax. If you fall asleep, then it is okay. If you get distracted, just gently pull yourself back. It is okay. Okay, do not be hard on yourself. Just relax. Because you close your eyes and you just tell your body, okay, relax physically. Then you tell your body to relax mentally. And then you just breathe. Okay, whatever happens, you just observe. Okay, just observe your thoughts. And just let this flow for a few minutes. Okay, and let your mind clear up. That's it. Do this whenever you can, as often as you can, and don't be surprised, just this simple exercise. And then suddenly the right ideas come into your mind. The right insights flow into your subconscious. The right things, the right people, the right opportunity just appear in your life, and there's no explanation. It feels like a coincidence, but you know it's probably not. And then the more you act on these opportunities, the more consistent you become, the more intentional you are. And because Andrea's change didn't happen overnight, it's day after day after day after day. She would practice. Despite the changes in the outside world, despite the ups and downs, the chaos in the outside world, every day we would bring her back to stillness, bring her back to stillness, bring her back to stillness. Okay, so I hope this process is clear. And then you might be thinking, what, Sean, that's it? Yeah, that's it. It's that simple. And I want you to do it starting today. As often as you can. Okay, it doesn't matter what you experience in the day, doesn't matter the ups and downs, the chaos, whatever, okay? It's okay. You just find time every day to be with yourself, even if it's just a few minutes, even if it's just a moment, even if it's just one deep breath. That's it. Okay? If you want to understand how I practice my own version of what I'm sharing with you now, okay, I do what I've just told you. When I'm walking, when I'm working, when I'm doing something, when I have nothing to do, when I'm super stressed, or when I'm super happy. I always know that that the secret is in our breath, even if it's just that one breath. And for me, this is a discipline. I do this in sports, I do this in sales, I do this when I build my business. To me, this is a form of discipline. It is a state of mind. I think this breath, I carry it as much as I can into every area and region of my life. Can you imagine? I'm doing sales calls every day. I'm doing sports every other day. Every day I'm in the chaos of building my business. For those of you who own your own businesses, you do sales, you know what is it like, right? So this breath of clarity, this breath of stillness, as much as I can, I always keep it with me. So how I do it is I always set a strong intention. Okay, and here are some variations for those of you who want to practice a more dynamic way in expanding this practice. Here's how I do it. One way is to ask for clarity. Okay, ask for clarity on a specific question or topic. And I'm going to expand with examples on each of these. Okay, but one way is to ask for clarity. Clarity, you cannot just say clarity. Clarity on what? Okay, clarity on always a specific question or a topic that's directed inwards to yourself, to your soul, to your subconscious. Or number two, you can visualize a specific process. Or number three, you can concentrate on a specific essence. Everything that we see, okay, always has an essence. Whether it's a theory, a principle, a physical thing, there's always an essence that is the real spirit of the thing. The spirit of the thing is the thing itself, because once the spirit leaves the thing, okay, the thing will disintegrate. So a lot of times what we really want is not the thing, it's the essence of the thing, so that you can manifest the thing at will. Or number four, okay, shifting a specific belief. Okay, how does number one work? Okay, a lot of people have come to me for these problems. Okay, and sometimes when they ask themselves the same problems, they find that they get a lot of insight, a lot of understanding that helps them navigate effectively out of this plateau or this maze or this problem that have been bugging them for a very long time. For example, there was one salesperson. He asked me, why do I blank out when I talk to someone with more authority? I have people that ask me, why am I so impatient? I have people that ask me, hi, how do I become more confident? How do I develop patience? Or how do I plan my week? I have this income goal. I have this sales goal for myself or my business. What is the plan? So obviously as a coach, I'm able to guide them on these things, but it's not as powerful, okay, if I'm just guiding the person and then the person don't internally understand themselves on what are these things that they're trying to achieve. So whenever I put my students into stillness, just like we put Andrea into stillness, they are actually able on their own to create massive breakthroughs, even if it's just one question, even if it's just one small thing. Like, for example, how to build rapport on sales call. Even if they can do this exercise, you'll be surprised, because the difference between me coaching them versus they absorbing my coaching and then taking that question or that insight into the silence and then internalizing it themselves, is very, very powerful. Because why? Now it's no longer my words, now it's no longer my coaching. I'm just a guide, but they have become a teacher for themselves, and that is always the most powerful, when you can train someone to be self-sufficient, then whenever they have a question, they are able to understand themselves. Then whatever how or what that they want to take from the outside world, it becomes so much easier to grasp it with clarity and certainty. Am I making sense? So a lot of questions of, oh, why am I like this, or why do I have this, I really suggest and recommend, okay, we focus on the why, because the why is the essence. Of course, the ultimate solution always comes with why, how, what, when, and where, okay, or who. But if you can always get to the essence, you can always find the key. Okay, in fact, try this exercise right now. Okay, before we go on to number 2, experience this for yourself. Do you have a question? Of course, you cannot ask me now because this is a recording. But pick the first question that comes to your mind about yourself, about your work, about your life, about your relationships, or your health, whatever. Okay, pick the first question that maybe you have been thinking for a long time, and close your eyes. Okay, go into the silence. Okay, just for a moment and say, why does this problem exist? What is the essence of what I'm experiencing? What could be the solution? If you can clear your mind and take a deep breath and access the silence, you'll start to see through a lot of things. You know, it is impossible when we are in the silence not to see through the walls. So if I rephrase that, in the silence, we will always be able to see through barriers, walls, illusions, doubt, all these things that cloud people, you know, that pull people in multiple directions, that cause people to react, cause people to have fear and doubt and confusion. Whenever you enter the silence, you will always able to come out with a breakthrough. Okay, so if you want, you can actually pause this video and really practice this. Okay. Number 2 is we can visualize a specific process. Okay, and I do this all the time. Okay, whenever I'm building my business, whenever like I'm doing a presentation like this, whenever I help companies with their sales process, generating leads, doing their marketing, creating their offers, always I need a lot of this. Okay, or even when I listen to my students' sales calls. Okay, and you can visualize something that does not exist that you want to create, or you can create something and then visualize to see how you can improve it. I give you an example, and this was me not even understanding the how. Okay, basically I was at a point in my business where I didn't know how to build my business. So in my visualization, I asked a question like, how can I, create this solution for my business? And I saw in my mind's eye, I saw 4 boxes, and that's all I saw. I didn't see what's inside the box. But every day I would go into the silence and I'll ask, hey, why is my vision showing me 4 boxes? Why not 5? Why not 3? And then over time, when I practice, when I research, when I study, when I go about my life, I would unconsciously start to manifest and attract and pull information that I realize could form, that could contribute into these 4 boxes that was based on the question I asked, how do I build this function in my business? And one day I was so surprised when I saw this solution. It matched exactly the question that I asked. And in the beginning, I had no idea how. So a lot of people like to ask me how, and they think that I have all the answers. I don't. Okay, but it is my process of building a process, even when I don't know how, to gradually attract and build an internal process to manifest an external process, if that makes any sense. And I do this for everything that I do. This is the power of visualization. You must create it in your mind first. It must exist mentally before we can create it and so-called manifest it externally. Okay. In fact, one of the most important times I did this was at a point where I had absolutely nothing. I had $2 to my name, and this was in 2018, and I wanted to learn how to do remote sales. This was before I met Andrea. And at my lowest point, I told myself that I don't know how, but by the end of the year, I will hit my first 5-figure month. Okay, and then 1 month ahead of schedule, in November that year, my plan was December. 1 month ahead, I achieved this goal. And actually by that time I forgot that I actually had this plan, So when I look back at my notes, I realized, oh my god, I actually planned for this. I visualized a certain process for this, and I achieved it. And how could I forget it? My boss at the time had to remind me, you've collected 10,000? It's your first month. Do you know that? I said, I didn't know. So number 3 is to concentrate on a specific essence. Earlier, I mentioned that everything has an essence, right? Everything has a principle. Everything has a seed. It's always in the why. Okay, how can I get courage? How can I get confidence? How can I get discipline? A lot of the things that we want to achieve in our life, the what, right? What we want to achieve. It all comes from a certain state. It all comes from a certain principle. It all comes from a certain essence. We don't really want to fill ourselves up with the thing, because that becomes a chase, and the thing will always come and go. Like money, for example. You make money, lose money, make money, lose money. But today, you find that some people, even if they lost everything physically, they have no fear. Because why? They already know how to recreate it. Is it because they have that thing? No, it's because they have the essence, the understanding, the mastery, the control, the balance of the essence of that thing. And the magical thing is, the fair thing is, all of us have a little bit of every quality. Whether it's understanding, whether it's courage, whether it's stillness, whether it's confidence, whether it's discipline, whether it's intelligence. We all have a little bit of those things. What we want to do is not to chase the physical thing, but we want to believe in the essence of the thing that we have inside and learn how to train that thing, how to polish that thing, how to refine that thing, and how to bring it out to the very best of our ability and potential. Just like Andrea. In the beginning, she had nothing. Like me, I had $2. But what are the non-physical things we had at the time? The discipline, the planning, the training, the determination, the grit, the responsibility, the ownership. All these things, what do they all have in common? Invisible. So at that point, okay, we were like, it doesn't matter what the conditions are, because the conditions are physical. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are, because the circumstances are physical. And yes, at that time, in the beginning, for both of us, if you looked at the physical conditions and circumstances at that time, most people would be extremely demoralized. But if you understand the essence of what I'm teaching you today, you will know that doesn't matter what the starting point is. If we can start, if we can access the stillness, if we can enter the silence, even if we don't know how, but the moment we make that decision to take ownership of this essence and bring it up and live it out, bit by bit, the seed will become a seedling. It will germinate something. It will become a little plant, and then a young adult plant, and then a tree, and then a big tree, and it's going to bear fruits, and It's going to spread even more seeds, and it will grow and grow and grow. Whatever you see in my business and my brand today all started from what you saw earlier when I was down to my final $2 and surviving on one meal a day. That's where I started. So even before all of this, I was a very weak and sickly kid. So I really struggled. So my understanding of everything I'm teaching you right now is what I physically experienced. From being a weak, sickly kid, I had no discipline. I fell sick all the time. I was very lazy. Okay, to building, even till today, building. Okay, so if it's discipline you want, for example, okay, concentrate on it. Fill yourself up with it. In every breath, in every moment, okay, mentally focus on that thing. Even if it's a project that you want to build, okay, maybe you want to build a funnel, I don't know, maybe you want to build your own brand, maybe you want to build your own business. Where do you think that real power comes from? It doesn't come from your coach, it doesn't come from some program you buy. Yes, you can invest in a coach. Yes, you can invest in a quality program. But in the end, you are the one, okay, that's going to master it internally. Okay, for those of you who feel like, hey, there are some beliefs that I want to change, okay, this is the process that you can do. Some of you feel that, I have never experienced love before. I don't understand myself. My voice is not heard. If I try, I will fail. I'm afraid of this. I fear this. All these are all limiting beliefs, and this belief might be formed by multiple other beliefs. So it's like a compound belief. So to really break a paradigm down, like my old paradigm or Andrea's paradigm, it's not done overnight. There are certain individual beliefs that, like, some way, somehow, it entered your subconscious and they started to form that one thing there that, I can't get there. I can't do this. So to break that old belief, you need to go into the silence, okay, and mentally pair that one old limiting belief that you identify. Maybe it's, okay, I'm afraid of becoming successful. Okay, pair it with a doubt. The doubt can be something that you think may or may not exist. I don't know, Godzilla, Thanos, I don't know, something that you doubt is true. Okay, dinosaurs or whatever in your own subconscious that you doubt to be true. You want to pair that doubt with that old belief. So you are using the doubt to destroy, to eliminate, to weaken that old belief. Does that make sense? How do you pair it? You just take two visualization in your mind, a symbol, an object, a picture, and you put them side by side. And you let them both merge into one, and then have them both disappear. And you repeat this over and over again. Your subconscious will say, oh, that's not real. It's not true that I won't be successful. I don't really believe it. So it becomes weaker and weaker to the point where I totally doubt if this old belief is even real, to the point where no, this belief doesn't exist. And what I've just said is a subconscious process that is achieved by constant visual representation, repetition in all your mind's eye. Then you repeat the same process for a new belief that you want to program. That, like for myself, I needed to believe that I could become successful in remote sales, because in the beginning I didn't believe I could make more than $50 an hour slogging for someone else. That was my old belief. So I wanted my new belief that I can become a successful high-ticket, six-figure closer. So I would pick something that I know for sure is the truth. It could be a mathematical equation. It could be an event that really happened. But I will hold in my hand this gold medal that I won in 2014. And I know for a fact that because I did win this competition and the physical gold medal is in my hands, I would hold this medal and I would think of my new belief. So in my mind's eye, I would start to, same thing, combine the two and have them both merge into one unified image, one unified energy. So now, my subconscious, after repetition with emotional intensity, now my subconscious starts to believe that yes, I won this competition and I can be a successful closer. Both become a truth for your subconscious. If you want to experience exactly how powerful this exercise can be, pause this video and give it a go. After about 7, 10, 14 days, you should see something incredible happen in your life. And when that happens, please do us all a favor. Come back to this video and share your experiences. Let us all celebrate with you. Okay? So for me, I do this every single day because I'm very clear on what my limiting beliefs are. So as long as I've been in sports, as long as I've been in competitive sports and doing sales and business, I know that at the end of the day, it's not a what or how problem. If I do not understand and break my limiting beliefs, there will always be a blind spot. And in 2018, the picture on the left, when I had so many of these blind spots, it was so tough. I was burnt out myself. And because belief by belief, session by session, I would break, build. And sometimes it's so slow, sometimes it's so fast. But every day I would break, build. So my focus and my discipline became so strong, okay, that I could go all the way. If you ask me like 5 years ago, would I ever share a stage with Bob Proctor, because I help a consultant in his company to build a team of 20 salespeople and get to 6 figures, I would never have believed it. It would be a huge limiting belief for me. But one belief by one belief, I got there. And you can do the same for yourself, and you must do it, because if you don't, if the limiting beliefs stay dormant and unconscious inside of you, what's going to happen? Self-sabotage. And the worst thing is unconscious self-sabotage. So if you're watching this video right now, there's a very high chance that you may have consciously or unconsciously asked for this solution. So my suggestion is to start right away. Don't just start and stop. Make it a habit. Make it a daily discipline. You go to the gym, right? You do sports, you train, right? Those are your physical muscles, and you can see yourself becoming stronger and stronger physically, right? I want you to experience the same for your mental muscles. Train. If you can go to the gym once a week, you can go to the mental gym, which is your access to the silence, once a week. Even if it's just once a week, I guarantee you will see tremendous change start to flow into your life. And keep this discipline with you. Build your mental muscles. And you got to understand that chaos and pressure is not a bad thing. That's probably the only constant we will have in our life. You know, it doesn't mean that, oh, just because I got to 5-figure months, I got a 6-figure career, then all my problems go away. If anything, you have next level problems. Now you got to build a team. Now you got to build a business. Now you got to scale your business. So growth, change, chaos is the only constant. So I don't want you to use meditation as a comfort or escape. Use it as a way to build yourself. Then take the stillness into the chaos. Take the stillness into the pressure. Take the stillness and approach challenges and become more creative, become more disciplined, become more balanced, because that is how you grow spiritually. Okay? So to conclude, if someone would ask me, What is stillness? I would say stillness is the art of finding or creating balance amidst the chaos. Now, what is balance? Okay, that is up to you to discern and decide, because your balance will be your life. So remember in the beginning I told you that I will give you a gift. Okay, this gift is based on the process that Andrea went through, and then we have turned it into a digital program. And usually we sell it for $247. Okay, but because you watched this video today and you stayed till the end, okay, in the description below you will find a link to this program, and it is 100% discount. Okay, it comes with 100% discount, so it's completely free. You do not need to pay a single cent. Okay, and I want you to start using it today and start practicing. If you want a system, a process, a daily vehicle for you to actually build this silent power in you, access the 7 Days of Stillness program right now. It is in the description. It's completely free. And in 7 days, okay, you look at Andrea's change, you look at her transformation, you look at my breakthroughs. If there is a change or transformation or breakthrough that you have been wanting to build all your life and everything external has not worked, do this program. And if you know someone who is quietly struggling, you know, like the old Andrea or the old me, you know, they are stuck, trapped in the chaos, they are deeply frustrated, they are deep in the maze, they're burnt out. Okay, do them a favor, send them this video. Say, hey, you know, I think you seem pretty stressed recently. Why not you just watch this video, see what this person has to say, and if it can help. Okay, pay it forwards. If you want the direct link, head over to sena.live/SOS. Sena.live/SOS, and this SOS has to be all in caps. Okay, big S, big O, big S. Sena.live/SOS. And if you know people that need help, please, okay, without hesitation, immediately send them this link, because you don't know who is struggling. If 5 years ago you look at Andrea, 5 years ago you look at me, you won't know what's happening. Okay, you never know that by sending this link, this program, or even this video, you never know whose life you can deeply impact and start a whole new cycle and pay it forwards. Okay, so along the way, when you have experiences, when you have breakthroughs, or whatever you experience in the silence, whatever you use stillness to achieve and conquer in your life, please every now and then come back to this video and in the comments below tell me your experience. Share with me your wins, share with me your progress, because I don't know who is watching this, but I do want to know whose life I've impacted, okay, with this free training and this free program. Okay, because it's one of the main reasons I am always creating content like this. It's deeply gratifying for me. It's why I do what I do. Okay, so share your story. You never know who might need to hear your story. Okay? And my last message for you today is, at the end of it all, I hope that you can use whatever I've shared with you today to find yourself, to understand yourself, to master yourself, and whatever that means, okay, you can have your own definition. Okay, find yourself. So I hope you enjoyed this video. This was the silent power training, and you have now free and total and lifelong access to the 7 Days of Stillness program. If after watching this video you have a question, you have a comment, you have a feedback, just reach out on social media. I think it's pretty easy to find me online and send a message, say, hey Sean, I watched your video and you know this is what happened and this is how it benefited me. Okay, and remember to like this video, leave a comment below, and subscribe to my channel. And as always, I'm one message away. Okay, and until next time, I will see you again.